learning?
Learning, in my own understanding, learning is, I can say learning is to, I can't use the same word again, so I can say
learning is to learn. That's what you want to do.
No, I can't say that. I think it's getting to
when a child is learning to speak, how do you understand learning in that case?
they're doing something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
To make it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah, to make perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, learning, involving yourself into things that can make you know the thing, like incoherent, to know the thing.
You are getting new knowledge.
Exactly.
And that new knowledge changes the way you see things.
Because you know something that you didn't know.
Yeah, there's a guy who I forgot his name. He wrote about cognitive development. The learning, the child's example I've given you. You are absorbing new knowledge, and that will change the way you see things. Is there any difference between learning and training?
Maybe a slight difference. Oh, it can be the
You
same.
go for training in your basketball.
Okay, yeah, wait.
You do training sessions, isn't it?
Yes, your training now, you already know something, but you keep doing it so that it keeps, like you keep doing it so that you don't forget about it. Or you want to perfect it, or you want to even do more than what you know.
So training is also learning, but for something you already know. It's or for the job you are doing. For that will be training. Okay. What about education?
Education?
Education is what? Is it a part? Can we also associate it with learning?
Yeah.
It's learning.
It is.
Yeah.
Because you come here for education, you are learning things that you don't know.
Okay. All right. This is some of the things that I thought I should have talked about during the film, but I think we'll do them today because the course is human resource training and development. So I was thinking about the component of training and then development. First of all, let me say something about the essay. First, something about strategic, something to do with human resource development and realization of organization, whatever, something to do with that. I will also be talking about that today, about the strategic relevance or importance of human resource development, and how that can help to, particularly I think if I look at the question seriously, it's like the connection between humanities, this is human resource. discussing the strategic role of human resource development in sustaining an organization's competitive edge. I'll be tackling that because we'll have to look at the strategic role of human resource development. If you remember, when I was giving an introduction, I mentioned that we are talking about resources. Resources, things that you can use or we can employ in order to yield something. If you use land to produce maize or to produce crops, then land becomes when you use computers in order to come up with certain things, those are resources. The banks are using ATMs as resources because they come up with certain, something like that. But then I also said that people are people. But when you want, they become active. They become a resource. Active in the sense that they are contributing to something. Today I will try to connect you to training and development, strategy, and organizational success. Or, as the question is saying, the competitive edge. Yeah, that's what I'll try to connect. So that will help you to have an idea of what what I'm expecting, expectations. First of all, as I always say, when you are given a topic like this one, don't rush into writing. First of all, try to understand it. What is it that the lecturer is looking for? You see, for you to get 70 and above, I want you to be convinced that the information that you have selected is answering the question, is relevant to the question. If somebody asks you, how are you, no sir? I don't think you will start by saying, I'm coming from town. I took a minibus. On the way we had a breakdown. Then in the end you say, I'm fine, how are you? Is that relevant? You see, sometimes this is what I get in the essays. Here I'm talking about strategic role of human resource development, and we'll talk about that. But then we also talk about its strategic role in terms of competitive edge. How do you position strategic? You know, you people who play games like basketball, football, the coach sometimes uses a plan as well as a strategy. They are two different things. In a strategy, is how the coach has studied the weakness of the other team and then repositions the players so that they defeat and win the game. That's what we're going to see. So again, that essay is looking at information relating to how human resource development, which has to do with training and development, how it can assist in making organizations or businesses achieve a competitive edge. And we'll be discussing, we're spending some time on competitive edge and what it is. But as I said, let's try to understand human resource development, training and development. It just came to my mind that I did not talk about that. I quickly rushed into macro and micro, but I thought that was, a step ahead. We are talking about training and development. And I want you to see the way a child grows. A child learns, it gets education, trains, and then develops. That's it. So these are the stages that we are looking at. What is learning? You were right when you talked about learning as a permanent change of knowledge. You mentioned something about knowledge. So you are not far from the truth.
Let's start with learning, because this is the common factor. It is found in training, it is found in education, it is found in development. Just open this so that I'm going to move from now and again. Learning should be understood as new knowledge, or it should be understood as a permanent change of knowledge, attitude, or behavior. A permanent change of knowledge, attitude, or behavior. This is learning. A permanent change of knowledge, attitude, or behavior occurring as a result of formal education. Occurring as a result of formal education. The result of formal education. I'm giving you this because I know that one is going to be useful again when we talk about the strategic role of HRD and competitive edge, or training, or as a result of informal experiences. Education or training, or as a result of informal education. That is what learning is all about, and we need to understand that. As a result of informal experiences, as a result of informal experiences. Let's look at this definition of learning. Let's look at it and try to understand it. Because we are talking about human resources development, or human resources training and development. We are trying to understand, or what we are doing here is to say that people should be active. For people to be active, they become a resource. They become a resource, in other words, they become useful. They become useful if it was human capital development, they contribute to businesses. They add value. They are valuable. So we are talking about human resource training and development. Why do we need to train people? Why do we need to develop people? Because development is also learning. It is learning, but it's learning for growth. Okay? So training and development, the point is what are we doing? What do we want? If you follow me last week, I said the macro and micro HRDF. Macro means the country has to start preparing its citizens to become resources. Every country that is developing, every country that is rich has a macro HRD perspective, or it's like Malawi 2063. Malawi 2063 can only be achieved if the country has got an idea of how it will turn its citizens into resources that will help to build the country. I can tell you, all the countries that are well developed, the United States of America, the UK, now we talk of India, we talk of China, Russia is fighting the world alone without any assistance. It is because they have a macro HRD perspective. they started investing into their people right in the past in order to come up with people that are resources. Any country that is developed now, any country that is doing well, it's because at its macro level, there was effort and emphasis on letting people learn so that they have permanent change of knowledge. We drop the witchcraft issue that we talked about. We have to get some to see that this is the way things are done. There is a way things can be done without necessarily relying on witchcraft. I tend to wonder here that you have in Malawi, we call them singangas. I noticed some of them are singangas, who will say they have got some sort of a concoction for you to pass the examinations. And yet they have never been in class. Where do they get that? So we need to change that mindset. We need to look at learning as a change of knowledge. Just like a child. And you see, I get interested in the way children start to speak their mother language. The mother does not have time to say, let's go into class at your place. Does she do that? No. But slowly the child starts to speak. And in the process of speaking, we laugh at the child because she might be using nouns wrongly and so on. But then she learns. This is what I call informal experiences and informal learning. So you can learn the way you are doing. You can also learn outside the classroom. So learning does not necessarily have to take place in class. Because when you travel to one country, if you have ever been to another country as you once told me, you must have learned something. You must have learned something. You must have acquired some knowledge, and that affected your attitude or behavior. You must have learned that. So this is the way things are done here. You see? So you learn from traveling. When you travel, you learn. That's informal. It's not formal. You are not in class. There are so many cases in which you can learn. Formally, yes, what we are doing in class. We are giving you knowledge. We want you to change the way you see things. But there are also times that you have to learn by traveling and other things that will give you knowledge about certain things. So that's what this definition is saying. But as I said, this is a common denominator. You will find learning in the other definitions that we have. So it's a permanent change of knowledge, attitude, or behavior. How do you differentiate between a person who has gone to school and a person who has not gone to school? The difference is in their application of knowledge and attitude and behavior.
Yeah.
Because what we are trying to do to you by giving you this education is to make you flexible in the mind. You see, one thing I've noticed from people that have never gone to school is that they are strict. They stick to what they have known informally and they don't like to change. That's why here we say a permanent change. That's why sometimes when you behave like somebody, people laugh at us. But you went to school. Why are you behaving like this? Yeah. Because there is no permanent change of attitude. So it's a result of formal education or training, and then it will also be informal experiences. Children don't receive a formal education from their mothers, but they learn to speak. And eventually when they are speaking, they are getting experience and their attitude is changing. Now they start respecting people because they have learned something. Now after that, what is training? Because as I said, this should have come at the beginning. We were talking about human resources, training and development. What is training? What is training? You also you rightly explained that training has to do with it. You already know something, you already have the knowledge, but you are doing it to perfect it. That was very cool. That is very cool. You already have something. So what the definition here says is very simple. It says it's learning related to the present learning related to the present job. That's training. I'm a lecturer. So if they want me to learn how to manage a class, okay, how to teach, that will be training. Because it is learning now related to the present job. You go for training in basketball because it's related to what you are doing currently. I wouldn't go for training in basketball, but the first thing will start maybe if I will learn. So I will be taken to class. And then I will be taken to class and be told what is basketball. What is the origin of basketball? Before I go into the training ground. Only when I've got that knowledge and attitude will I start doing the training. And if you go for driving, it's the same thing. The first thing is you have to learn, doing the learning. The training comes in when you have some idea of what you're supposed to do. For example, I'm already a driver, but they can say, okay, now we want to be able to do what we call defensive driving. They are already drivers, so that one will be training. Okay, it will be training in defensive driving. That's the difference. Why am I bringing this? I'm bringing this because I want to go back to human resource management training, or human resources training and development. Human resource training and development. What is training? Why do we have to train people? The answer is to come back to it. We want to make people active. When they are active, they become human resource. Because they create and add value to the business or to the organization. So training is learning related to the present job. I'm a driver, I want to do defensive driving. I'm a basketball player, I want to improve my skills in basketball. That's training. Every day go for training and you learn something. So what is important here is in training there is learning. In training there is learning. What about education? Is there also some learning? Education is learning to prepare the individual. Education is also learning. Education is learning to prepare the individual. It's learning to prepare the individual. We are just preparing you. For example, you are doing human resource management. We are preparing you, but not related to a specific present or future job. You see? So it's like general. We are learning to prepare the individual in general. In general, and not specifically for a particular job. And not specific. You're just preparing the individual. That's education. When you see, that's why when I was in primary school, we used to have very good poems, very interesting poems that I don't forget up to now. They were nice. The books we used for English had very nice poems. And one of them was when I grow up, I want to be this. When I grow up, I want to be this. See? Because that's education. You are not specific. You're just preparing these young people. Please, what I want you to be looking at is, we talked about macro level, okay, and micro level. Macro, HRD perspective, and micro. I'm not very far from this. Macro means at national level. You can see that any government is interested in this. They are offering education. Is primary school education in Zimbabwe free?
No.
They pay. Okay. I think that's because even in Malawi, the moment we introduce free primary education, we lower the quality. That's one thing. Yeah, definitely the quality of education. Something that is free is never of good quality. And one thing that we did not think about is the moment we announced the free primary education, we forgot that we didn't have classrooms. So that's why most of the primary schools, the children are learning under a tree outside. because we should have introduced free primary education first by making sure that we prepare the right forms. It's not good. Children learning outside the classroom don't think they learn. They also watch what is passing by. There is a school close to the main road. Every time you are passing by, the kids are looking at you and the vehicle are driving. And they lose concentration. So there are so many challenges in free education. And mind you, they are still paid, but indirectly. Because I've noticed, I'm giving one kid, a relative son, who is at a primary school, and it's a government primary school. They ask them to contribute something for paying the watchman, and that is contribution is done every month, so that they say salaries or wages for their watchman who looks after the premises when they are out of class. They ask for contributions for examination printing. So in the end they are paid. That's what I'm noting. They are paid. But as I'm saying, when you look at them already, see how governments are trying to do this. Why they are doing this? Why is it that education is important? Education is important. Education leads to success. We believe that education is a solution. Everybody believes that education is a solution. And let me tell you, the education did not come with the white man's path. Education was already there. Even if there were no formal schools like this one, our parents used to educate their children. They had to educate them in terms of manners. And so education did not come with the white man or the British. Zimbabwe and Malawi were under one. You remember the colonial, the federal, the government, they wanted in Zimbabwe, Malawi, and Zambia to be one until these people started saying, no. You see, Zimbabwe and Malawi and Zambia, according to the British, was supposed to be one country. And they wanted to do this. In Zimbabwe, they wanted to develop that Zimbabwe as a model of a city, because these white people chose to be staying in Zimbabwe. And that's why you find Mugabe had struggles to get the farmland from them and chase them. We did not have that type of struggle here. But according to their plan, it was like Zimbabwe should be their residential country. And they should use Zambia as a mining country because there was copper. And they should use Malawi just as a holiday resort because there was a beautiful lake. That's how they wanted it to be. That's why they wanted these three countries to be one. They would be staying in Zimbabwe because it was beautiful for them. They would do their farming there. And when they are on holiday in August, they would come to Malawi and go to the lake. And the Zambians would be producing copper because it was, that was the arrangement until the Kaunda, Kamuzu, and Mugabe said, no, we want to rule on our own without that type of making of those countries. That's what happened. But what I'm trying to say is, education did not come because of the white man. Education was there. When you were born, you learned to speak from your mother, that was education. You learned to do certain things, how to behave, and when you were growing up, without going to school, you still had some sort of education taken from the society. You see, I remember when I was about 8, 9 years, we were taught that when an old man is carrying something, heading towards where we are going, we should take the language and then do it until we give him. That was learning. That was education. So it was there. It's not that it came because of the white man. We were told, and we still do it. Some have gone to villages. That type of learning is still there when you are, when an elder owes you, and you go, you have to kneel down if you are a child. This is part of education that was there. And we were taught, and there were some bad practices as well. When it came to eating, we used to be told that adults should eat first. left was for us as children. And we're used to that. We're used to that. So that's what, so to say that these things, but what I'm saying is the macro HRD, Human Resource Development, at national level looks at all these things. How do we encourage our people to become active and become resources for our nation? We have to offer learning. We have to give them education. Some countries have introduced free primary education so that learning is available to prepare the people to become resources at a later stage. Now, what is development in this case? Because we are talking about human resource training and development. What is development? Because this development should not be confused by looking at the common development the country is developing. Development is also learning.
Yeah.
It is learning for growth of the individual. Learning for growth. Learning for growth of the individual. Learning for growth is development. Learning for growth of the individual is development. So you can see there is learning in training, there is learning in education, there is learning in development. The differences are in training, it's related to the present job. Education, you're just preparing the individual. And then in development, you are learning for growth of the individuals to grow. We all want to grow. We all want to develop in the way we handle things, in the way we understand things. We have to develop. Remember one day I told you about how security personnel for presidents are trained. Yeah. I'm trying to follow that. And I've now done how Israel does it for protecting its president, how Poland does it, and how it's called the United States Special Forces, how they do it in the United States. It's also something very interesting to learn about, because in the United States, for you to become a bodyguard for President Biden or Trump or another president, I think it's not easy. There is a lot of change of knowledge and attitude. See, when I was going through that audio, I really said, is this trying to make people become animals? Because they forget their own humanity. They say that if they have recruited strong young men, 20 of them, only 2 may finish the training and the development part of it. Only 2. They are talking about letting them do everything, exposing them to danger. Okay, in the training process, in the learning process. The reason is they want to change their attitude. They actually teach them to do self-surgery. Because they are saying, in case you are alone in the bush and then a bullet is hit, you take a nice cut and remove it and then plaster it. So they learn it in self-surgery. These are the things, and the Americans, there is a week, 5 days, they call it the week of death. Because once you go through that 5 days, then you are really a strong person. The week of death is where they sleep only for 4 hours in 5 days. The whole 5 days they sleep only for 4 hours. Not their day, but the whole 5 hours they will only sleep for a maximum of 4 hours. And it takes really strong people. And those that get through that are really taken to be very tough. But that is not all. After the week of death, they are also taken into ice-cold places where they are put under ice, and it is said that you can only last 8 minutes under ice. So they keep them for 6 minutes, just 2 minutes to death, and remove them. It's really tough. Then training, education, and then development. This is not to say, this is apart from the usual hand. They are very good at hand combat, using the knife, using any weapon. They are even more dangerous when they don't have a weapon, because they are taught everything. They can survive in harsh conditions. They can stay without food for extraordinary hours without eating. This is what they are. So they are prepared for anything. And above all, they are changed in terms of their attitude to be prepared to die for the president. They would rather take the bullet for the president than anyone else. So that's how tough some of these things are. But the point is, for you to become like that, it has to do with change of knowledge and attitude of behavior. Have you ever wondered these people we call suicide bombers? How do people come to the point that if I wear a bomb and go to the market and it explodes, and then I die together with the other people? What makes them to have that tough mind and decide to say, let me die with other people? It is because for a long time they have changed their knowledge and attitude and behavior. It's like they are being converted to believe that, because the reason why they do that is because they believe that, I don't know whether it is religious or what, but they believe it is, maybe it's Islam or something like whatever it is, Al-Qaeda and the what, they believe that when you die with other people, it means you will be well received in heaven. Yeah, that's the notion, that's the lady they are told. To say, don't die alone. So these guys are so hard-hearted. They go into the middle of market and then detonate the bomb and explode. They know they are dying, but they want to die with so many other people. Now, just to decide to kill yourself requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of continuous training and continuous learning and continuous change of attitude of mind. You see? So that's what I wanted to say about learning, training, and education, and then development. At the macro level, it's like, as I said, the country, the nation, every government is responsible for putting in place environment that is conducive for its people to become resources. If we want to promote agriculture in Malawi, we need to provide a lot of field assistance and advisors to teach the farmers how to do modern farming. That's what we need to do. So that's the macro level. The micro HRD is now at the organizational level, as I mentioned. Each organization has got its own interventions in order to promote the workers to become resources that are useful. Then, let's look at some more human resource definitions. I think I gave you some, but I'm not, because I'm trying to move on to strategic human resource development, training and development. So I just want us to also look at a few other definitions in terms of human resource. What is HRD? Additional ones. I know Anat has given you some. We just need to do a little bit of addition. What is HRD? One more definition I found very important about human resource development is that it is the study and the practice of increasing the learning. It was good that I introduced what is learning. The study and the practice of increasing the learning. It is the study and the practice of increasing the learning the study and the practice of increasing the capacity of individuals, groups, and organizations through the development of learning-based interventions, through the development of learning-based interventions, this is a very good definition as an additional one to one I gave last time. Through the development of learning-based interventions for the purpose of optimizing human resource, for the purpose of optimizing human and organizational growth, for the purpose of optimizing human and organizational growth. Human and organizational growth. Human and organizational growth. Human and organizational growth. And effectiveness. Growth and effectiveness. Growth and effectiveness. This is according to someone called Chalofsky. Chalofsky. This is Chalofsky. This is 1992. This must be 1992, yes. I want us to look at that. Let me just find the exact perhaps this what one. When a child or a kid has learned, they will expect the child to develop. I don't know whether you have noticed, some people are 15 years. When they say it's completely childish, we say this is childish. What do you mean they have not developed? Because development is learning for growth. We expect you as you reach a certain stage, you must be able to develop. You learn for growth now. The way you were thinking when you were 6 years old is not the same way you are thinking this age. You must have changed. Yeah, so the issue of learning, education, training, and development are very relevant. We accept people that have gone for example, it becomes useless for me. You send somebody to South Africa for 2 weeks for a training, and that person comes back and is completely useless in the organization. It doesn't bring anything. It's like a waste of resources and time. Yes, they have gone there for sightseeing. It's just to see the place, and then they come back and they are back to what they were doing in the past. They have not changed in any way. That is not what we expect from training, because you are adding knowledge, attitude, and behavior so that you should perform better. Remember, this is human resource training and development. The core reason for studying these courses is to make sure that when people are trained, they get new ways and then they develop and then they grow. Now, this definition, HRD, is the study of practice of increasing the learning capacity. This is very dangerous because sometimes people are not willing to learn. So, human resource development has to do with how we can open up capacity to learn. That is development. How we can open up. The most dangerous people to train, or the most dangerous people to learn are my age, because we think we already know things. That's where it becomes very dangerous. We think we already know certain things. It's very easy to teach a kid to do something because the child knows that the mind is still free and flexible. But it is very difficult to increase the learning capacity of an adult. I think here we have got community courses like community development, social work, and so on. These must also be tackling about learning, because you talk about social work, there must be an element of learning. I would be interested to learn from them how different generations and age groups are quick to increase their capacity to learn. But what I've learned so far, what I know is that children are very quick to learn, easy to learn, compared to somebody like me. To increase their capacity, learning capacity, then you are doing development. That will lead into growth. And now, in this definition, you should also notice that it is giving 3 levels of organizational behavior that we look at: the individual, the group, and the organization. An organization also learns. Just like we looked at that, we said an organization has got a personality. An organization also learns. And an organization has to increase the capacity of learning. That's development. For example, if you look at universities have to increase the capacity to learn. They should know which programs are marketable in the labor market, which programs they should introduce. We need more of maybe social work. We need more of community development. We need more of computers and so on. Universities have come to learn. That's organization. You know, during my time, we had 3 types of degrees when I went to university. It was, they had degrees in education, degree in public administration, the one I took, and then degree in social science. The third one, the fourth one was called general degree. At that time, that was what was required. So you had special degrees like public administration, education, and social science, and of course law later on. But there was also a degree called general degree. The idea was just to make sure that when you completed your program with the general degree, you would fit anywhere. You would become a teacher at a children's school. You would become someone doing economics in a bank. So it was like a general degree. These days, the institutions, the universities have learned, and they are no longer offering general degrees. So this increasing learning capacity is not only to individuals, it is not only to groups, but it is also to organizations. Organizations that want to succeed, that won't need to have to increase their learning capacity. So now this is done through learning-based interventions. Learning-based interventions. When you start working yourself, you might be sent to India. India is a very good ground for learning human resources. So if you get a good employer, they will send you and say you should be in India for 3 weeks, 3 months, and you'll be attached to a certain organization there. So that you learn how management of people is done. So when you come back, you will notice, you will speak what is relevant for Malawi and help your organization to learn on how to do things better. All these things that are happening now are through learning. Banks have learned that they cannot rely on saving people while they are inside the bank. They have learned to start introducing the ATMs so that you can get your money outside the ATM, the banking hall. That's learning. So it's learning-based interventions, and the purpose is optimizing human and organizational growth. That's the development part. Optimizing, get the maximum return from your human resources. You know, well-trained people become very valuable resources. As I say, people are going to India for operations, surgery. People are going to India for heart transplants. People are going to India for diseases or sicknesses that cannot be handled in any hospital in Malawi and Africa. So it's the only place, and not in Malawi, so many children who are born with a heart that has got a hole. The only place they get treated is in India. Optimization of human and organization. That's HRT. So slowly India is becoming a force for the body. It has the population is so huge, but it has prepared for it, people to become resources. People are now flying into Bombay or New Delhi and staying there for operations. On the list, Indian doctors are busy working on Africans who have gone there to do assistance. So you can see the importance of the human resource. Just like the human capital side, you need to train and develop. People will just become useful when you have trained them, when they have developed, and therefore they become a resource for the organization. The same thing with the families. I would like to give such type of things so that people should understand. The same issue with your children. That's why in Africa, at the macro level, government should say, we don't want you to have 2 children as a child. But what we are saying is, you should be responsible for all the children that you have. If you have a means of looking after 20 children, well and good, let them go to school. Because that's what the government will say, I'm not worried. Because we don't want them to be beggars. They should all be resources. They should be valuable in the family. So the number of children that you have in your household or family should be those you can take to better schools, support them so that they become resources that are useful, that's human resources. Right. So that's one of the definitions that I found as very important. A process of developing skills, knowledge, is the study and practice of increasing the learning capacity of individuals, groups, and organizations. There is another interesting definition about human resource development. It is the study and practicing. Okay, it is the integrated use of training. That's number 2. Let's also look at that one. Number 1 that I found is very important. Number 2 is this one. Human resource development is the integrated use of training and development. created